Broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web, this is Enemies of the State with Tom Trento.
Another Monday morning
Got
here.
a good one for you today. Yes, we.
That was the other day's show. Somehow it came over. It was on autoplay.
It sounded like me.
It was you.
It was me. But that was my rendition of Steve Harvey doing Family Feud last Friday.
Oh, yeah?
It's following me around, I guess. Yeah, one of the essential elements of saving Western civilization is to watch Family Feud continuously, because they somewhere in there have the answer to all of the world's problems. Survey says, anyway, Tom Trento here on the 15th of June, 2015, one day after the 14th, and the 14th was what day?
Sunday?
Right, Sunday. Not too many people know it's a very, very, very special day. I always knew it was a special day because a girl in grade school in New Jersey, Linda, I won't say her last name, it was her birthday, June 14th.
Oh, that's right. Every year you do this.
No, I've never mentioned this girl before.
Yes, you have.
Have I? It was her birthday on June 14th, and I thought that was cool because it's also the birthday of the United States flag. Not too many people
Flag Day, yeah.
realize that June 14th is Flag Day. It's also the birthday of what other great institution in the United States of America? And the crickets.
I don't know.
The United States Army. It's the United States
yeah,
Army's birthday.
right, okay.
1775, United States Army was born on June 14th. And 1777, the flag, the Union standard was accepted as the flag, the symbol of the United States of America by the, not the first, not the third, but the Second Continental Congress back in 1777. So we had an army before the flag. What were they waving?
Don't tread on me.
Whole bunch of flags, yeah.
Yeah, don't tread on me. A whole bunch.
We've always had flags, but one of them, and there was a battle for which one it would be. Everybody wanted their kind of rendition of the flag to be the standard flag that would be the symbol of the United States of America. And the thing we have now with the red, white, and blue, and the lines, and 13 lines, and the stars, and what do those lines mean?
The 13 colonies.
13 colonies. There's
Pretty
also honor and I used to remember what all the colors meant.
Faith, hope, and charity.
Faith, hope, and charity. The colors all mean something.
Yeah, everybody says, oh, it's purity and loyalty and all these different things. And all of that has been written in our record, quite interestingly. But the 13 is an empirical number because it was for the 13 colonies.
Oh, is that the reason you number?
Name them. Let me see you guys name them.
Oh, God.
You can't.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, yeah, you're looking it up. You're Googling it.
Am I looking it up? I'm running the
Googling
TriCaster.
I can name one of them.
Oh,
New Jersey, man.
Hey, forget about it, D. You know we're in there.
Jersey.
We were there from the beginning, Vinny Bamboots. We were number 3, I think. Number 3 we were.
Connecticut, Maine,
How'd
Rhode
they
Island,
even have that as a colony before the Italians got there? That's what I
Virginia,
want to know, eh?
North
Rick
Carolina.
Colombo.
Jersey
Christopher
ain't
Columbus.
Jersey without the Italians.
What's with the Columbus name? You know, I mean, Columbus, it ends in an S. He's supposed to be Italian. What is that all about? It's like Santorum. He's supposed to be Italian? I don't know. But we got a good one for you today. We have, coming up very shortly, talking about flags, we have the flag man on with us, Joseph Offit. We'll talk to him in a little bit. But in light of Flag Day being yesterday and all the work we do here for the United States Constitution and for the importance of the flag as symbol of the absolute greatest of the 200 countries out there, I would like to read at the outset of the show and then at the close of the show. So you guys are going to have to remind me. I'll need about a minute or two at the end. But I'm going to read the opening paragraph and then the closing paragraph at the close of the show of the proclamation. Now remember, the flag was accepted on 1777. What month and what day?
Was that May 30th?
He's cheating.
June 14th, maybe, June 14th, Flag Day. But on
I'm just looking at Woodrow Wilson
on
and
May
the proclamation.
30th,
Yeah.
1916, President Woodrow Wilson made a proclamation that Proclamation 1335 for you technicians there. And I'll read the opening paragraph. Here's what he says. And what's very interesting is much of what he was saying in 1916, which was just before what war?
Tom.
Yeah.
World War I.
Listen to the similarities. And he states as follows, to my fellow countrymen. Many circumstances have recently conspired to turn our thoughts to a critical examination of the condition of our national life, of the influences which have seemed to threaten to divide us in interest and sympathy, of forces within and forces without that seem likely to draw us away from the happy traditions of united purpose and action of which we have been so proud. It has therefore seemed to me, Woodrow Wilson, fitting that I should call your attention to the approach of the anniversary of the day upon which the flag of the United States of America was adopted by the United States Congress, Continental Congress, as the emblem of our great union, and to suggest to you that it should this year and in the years to come be given special significance as a day of renewal, as a day of reminder, and a day upon which we should direct our minds with a special desire of renewal to thoughts of the ideals and principles of which we have sought to make our great government the embodiment. Then he goes on to say, I therefore suggest what to do on this day. We'll read that at the end. But sandwiched between President Woodrow Wilson's proclamation, we have a gentleman who witnessed on the news on May 3rd the attack on the Curtis Culwell Convention Center in Garland, Texas, an area where he lives. And he saw the Islamic jihadis come and try to kill people inside. 3 of us are here right now, and many of our friends were in that building. We did not know Joseph at that time, but Joseph thought that he should just go as a symbol of this great union and stand outside that cultural center a couple of days later and hold up an American flag. And from what I understand, and from what the news has said, you did just that, didn't you, Joseph?
Are you going to the wall, or are you just going to sit
I'll go to the wall.
All right.
I can go to the wall now. I look like, this shot here looks like the guy with the little head.
Oh my God, you're wearing long pants today.
Yeah,
you
you're
could
wearing long pants. You can actually go to the wall
Beetlejuice.
today.
This looks like a Beetlejuice shot. I look this little. I'll go over.
Oh, quit your whining and go to the wall.
I'm on my way to the wall. Oh, man.
Man, this guy gets older and bigger every weekend.
First day back in the gym this morning at 5 o'clock. It was a little rough, I must add. Hey, Joseph, did you hit the gym yet this morning?
Not this morning. Later on in the evening, I will be.
All right. We'll match in push-ups in a couple of weeks.
My money's on Joseph.
How you doing? Good to have you back with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I was telling the folks that you took a flag and went and stood in front of the Curtis Culwell Convention Center, and just on your own. And what happened as a result of that back in May? What was the first day you did that?
So the first day would have been on May 5th, because that was the day they originally let its Name and Forest Boulevard, where the Curtis Culwell Center is actually on. They finally cleared that road. So, I wanted to get a chance to get out there. But that morning, that was the first news report that came out that, ISIS had taken responsibility for that, what they called a terror attack. So, I got angry about it. And I ripped my flag off my wall, and I went and stood out there, not knowing that, the press or media was still there. It had nothing to do with it, but, to show my patriotism and let everybody know. Just because something like that happened doesn't mean we need to live in fear like we've been doing since 9/11. So for 14 hours, that very first day, with my 8-foot flag, I stood with my arms, you know, as far as I could,
Right.
and it got pretty painful too. But I had to keep going, and just the results of that have been so amazing because I had people stop by, come stand with me. They saw my arms getting tired, so they came and held the flag with me. I even had a Muslim family that came out that very same day, and at first they were really scared. They were really scared to get out and come talk to me. But when they first walked up, first thing they said was, "We're not ISIS. We're not ISIS." And I said, "I know you're not. You're an American, so you can come stand next to me and be proud of that." But every day since, we've been going out, not exactly in front of the Curtis Caldwell Center, but at the intersection at Naaman Forest Boulevard and North Garland Avenue, which is the main intersection right there.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, and every day it gets bigger and bigger. We have strangers that just come and join us. We have veterans, pro-patriots, even kids, youths come out and stand with us just because they want to know, hey, what is this cause and what can we do to help for this cause?
Beautiful.
Just like that.
Now, Joseph, yesterday was Flag Day. I know you did something last Friday. We're gonna feature that in a second here. But yesterday was Flag Day, the day to honor the flag, though you do that now very often. Did you do anything special or unique yesterday?
So as far as Flag Day goes, I already have my flag posted outside of my house. That it's just natural for me. I can never take it down, even if bad weather. My flag is always going to fly high and proud. But I did. Someone supplied me with over 100 flags, like mini flags that I can give out to people. And we went out yesterday, me and a couple of friends, and we gave out, many American flags to everybody that, didn't have one.
That's
and
cool.
could find a good place for it. So
Did you videotape that by any chance?
I didn't get a chance to videotape it. It wasn't really, to me, it was a big deal, but it wasn't something I was going to broadcast. I just wanted to go out there and, do something to help bring the community together, but not so much make it a.
We understand that you and for the folks who have seen you either on the news or here, the last thing you want is notoriety. You're a very humble guy, but you have to understand that a little act like that, when thousands of people hear and see that impacts their lives. So sometimes you gotta go through the little bit of notoriety stuff to impact a lot of lives. Take a camera next time, shoot pictures of that, and we'll put it on the air. And that would have been a very moving moment on Flag Day,
Here's the thing.
That picture right there was my most inspiring day, because if you can see and count all the flags that are there, I would say those are about 10 flags. And that was probably the 7th day I was out there. But starting from one flag and then a few days later having 2 to jumping up to 10, and all those people you see there were all strangers.
That's cool.
Now they're family to me now. So
very, very cool.
Hey, Joseph, I have an old saying, and it holds true today. If it ain't on video, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you made all of that up. Hey, Tom Trento here, WSBR Radio, 7:40 a.m. on your dial, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, the time is, who knows what time it is?
4:19.
4:19 in the afternoon in South Florida. Joseph, how do you pronounce your last name?
Offutt, like the
Offutt.
Air Force Base.
Okay. You
And
told
I
me
hope
that
I
once.
spelled it
Offutt.
right.
Joseph
Yeah.
Offit here from Texas, from the Dallas area, saw it in himself to take his flag and to go out, hold it up, and has created a little bit of a movement. But last week, in light of the controversy in McKinney, Texas, where there was the pool party a few days earlier, and the policeman got a bit aggressive and finally had to resign, and the community was getting stirred up by people like Sharpton and others. Joseph saw it important to take his flag and to go to McKinney And I think we have a piece of video. Do we have a piece of video here?
Yes, we do.
We're going to set this video up, Joseph. We're going to look at something. What is it? And what were you doing in McKinney, Texas?
Okay, so as far as the video goes, what you're going to see, they had a protest at the McKinney police station. And it was, on either side, you had the Back the Blue, which mainly were whites. And then on the other side, you had the anti-police protesters, which were mainly black. And you also had the Black Panthers and different organizations that were there. So when I originally got there, I wasn't going to stand on either side because I wanted to go and bring peace. We don't need another Baltimore. We don't need another Ferguson. And that was probably the biggest fear that I was having. So I stood in the middle. And, I was telling everybody this is not going to solve anything. We need to talk about peace. What's the solution? And a gentleman approached me from the anti-police protests and started asking me questions how I felt if, I was in this situation as the girl and the boy that was in the altercation with the police officer. And you're going to see me tell him exactly, hey, what you see in that video, you're not there. How would you, I'm going to put you in this situation. I'm going to talk to you about this. And, you've got the crowd around you and kind of egged it on. So I'm telling everybody, hey, let him speak. If he can come to me peacefully and respectfully, which he did, much respect to the gentleman that I spoke with. But to come to an understanding of what are you really protesting for? Is it a racial deal or what was your main concern? And let's talk about this for a second. So you're going to see me and him go back and forth.
All right, now I should tell the listening audience that Joseph Offit is a black American. How old are you, 25, 26 years old? How old are you?
I just turned 21 on May 2nd.
21, okay. He's a mature guy. He's black, so he went to a situation where there's blacks and whites and, potential problems, stood in the middle, and you're going to look at the video right now. Go ahead.
Right. It does. Let me tell you this. No matter how you're oppression, now let me this clear. There's nothing
I got the main speaker speaking here, and he's got a microphone, a bunch of people behind him, with a big black power fist behind his head.
The video froze up. Oh, we have a problem with the video. It froze up.
What happened?
Right.
We're checking out the problem.
Right. It does.
Some technical problem.
Yeah, we have
Hang
a
on.
technical problem with the video.
You know what? We'll show him the video and he could tell us what's going on. How's that?
Okay.
So we're going to show it. Go ahead and show this video right here on my screen.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna explain
and
what's
Joseph
happening.
could do a play-by-play. What's going on? It looks like he's really keeping the peace here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So at this moment in time, that's the gentleman that approached me, and we are discussing the situation on how the officer treated the 15-year-old girl that was taken to the ground. Not only that, but when the officer pulled his weapon. So you can see he's got his hands, he's listening to me, which is, again, like I said, I respect the gentleman for doing that, but I'm over here explaining to him, and I can tell you the exact words that I said. In that very moment, I'm explaining, I said, let's not even act like we're police officers. What if we, went to a different territory or a different hood, per se, and you don't know where you're at, and you've got 30 people around you, okay? You got in one fight with somebody, but now you've got 6 or 7 people, running up to you, regardless of the age, okay? Now, the gesture that you're going to see me do in the video, I'm going to kind of step up like this, using it as an example, because the kid in the video, just like that,
Yep.
He said he slipped. Now, either way, if he slipped or not, that gesture was it's a fighting gesture, especially the way I was raised. That gesture means, hey, let's go, ready to brawl. And I told him, I said, I met the kid in person with his father. The kid had tattoos on his fingers. and gang tats going up his arms. So I asked him, I said, at that very moment, not knowing your territory or your surroundings, have been that many people come up to you, and the person of the way that person looks like, and again, he's got a full mustache and a goatee. Would you pull your firearm and protect yourself? And finally, he said, yes, I would protect myself. And I said, okay, so then what are we talking about now? So he's going back and referencing back to the girl. He's saying, she shouldn't have been thrown down. She was just a kid. And I was saying, at this time, she's 15 and she's still old enough to know right from wrong. There's not going to be we're not going to blame everything on just one person here. This girl had multiple chances to leave. For one, once you're given your first chance, you should have left. Not only that, but I said, the way I was raised, I'm sure you're raised the same way. When you're a kid, let's say 15 again, you mind your own business. You stay out of grown folks' business. That's the saying. And if she was minding her own business when the police department arrived, she would have never been in that situation in the first place.
But you know how these things go. I mean, we all know when there's a little bit of tension, and the police were called from the all accounts because there was a fight in the neighborhood. So they came to break up the fight, and we all have seen the gang mentality when a bunch of people come around, and then it just ignites. So, but what did you? We got a couple of minutes left with you. What did you accomplish? What did you want to accomplish? And what did you accomplish last Friday in McKinney?
Well, at the end of the night, I got to stand face to face with one of the Black Panther leaders from Dallas, or the new Black Panther Party, excuse me. And I was very nervous because I've never been around somebody of that stature before. So when I walked up to him, I had a crowd behind me, and then of course he had his crowd standing behind him, and I said, "Sir, can I ask you a question?" I said, "What is your purpose of being here? Because you don't understand what I've done to work so hard to get our nation to finally stand up for something right. And what it looks like to me is you're trying to start up another racial war, which I will not let you do. What can you do to bring peace?" And the first thing he said was, "Well, the new Black Panther Party, we stand for peace." And I said, "Okay, well, if you truly believe that, would you stand next to this woman?" She was an old white lady. I said, "Would you feel safe standing next to this woman or hold her hand and truly mean that?" And he said, "Yes." He stood next to the woman. He stood next to guys exercising their Second Amendment rights, which is in that video as well, peacefully talking about it. At the end of the night, you had the Back the Blue protests and then the anti-police protesters actually sitting down together, whether or not they agreed with the outcome, but at least they could sit down civilly and, in the night with no injuries, no fights,
Beautiful.
no legal problems. And that was pretty much the bigger case that I wanted to make. So
That's pretty good, man. I got to tell you, for a 21-year-old kid to go there and to bring two sides together to allow that dialogue to take place in what could have been, a situation that erupted like Ferguson or Baltimore. Damon, you had a question? Oh, all right. What's next on your agenda? You going to go to the Middle East and solve all the problems there, or what are you going to do?
well, I don't know. It's right now I feel like I've done my part to inspire others, and I'm hoping to see others stand up and whether it's showing their patriotism or doing the right thing in a situation. It doesn't have to always be about what's going on in the country, but what can you do to make the change? And now I'm focused on being a police officer, so that's going to be my main focus right now. And it was a great journey that I was able to go on. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it 365 days as I originally planned, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm going to continue to stay strong for my country.
We do have the little video of the
New Black
New
Panthers.
Black Panther, if you want to cue that up, Tom.
No, I think we're out of the story now, and
Okay.
he's moving on to become a police officer, which I think would be a phenomenal career
it would be.
for you.
Seems like you have the right temperament for it, for sure.
Yeah. And with your temperament, there's so much you could do in municipal work, even federal work, and Lord knows we need that. So, Joseph Offit, you are usually the dirtbags make the news. You're the antithesis of that. You're flag man. You
right.
are flag man, and you're a motivation and inspiration to many, which is why we want to have you on the show. Let's stay in touch. Stay out of trouble. We know you will. You do gain enemies when you do this kind of work. Be careful. And whenever anything pops up, give us a call, and we'll be there with you, okay?
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. God bless you, Joseph. You take care.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks,
at blank minutes after the hour,
31
minutes after the hour, Tom Trento, your host, Enemies of the State, WSBR Radio. Going to sit down over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, we are available on Red State Talk Radio at midnight Eastern time. So today's show, if you're listening on WSBR, you could catch at midnight. And for those of you catching us on Red State Talk Radio at midnight and you want to watch it, check us out on theunitedwest.org. Theunitedwest.org. And if you want to see all our older stuff, go to youtube.com/theunitedwest. And we have thousands upon thousands of hours of programming, as well as some slick little videos produced by Mark, the man behind the TriCaster as well.
And people, I hear occasionally in our listening audience on the radio, and iHeartRadio, very, very important to go there. Our listening audience is growing and growing and growing, and our viewing audience is growing. But one of the challenges I hear from many people that watch is, we don't have an hour every day to watch your show. Well, we understand that. Everybody's busy. We understand that. But I'm sure you watch an hour of television somewhere, and you probably watch a couple of hours of news here and there. Our argument is, particularly for the national security, the United States Constitution, Israel, Islamic Jihad, these hot issues, the issues that are trending issues, the issues that are headline issues worldwide, not only do we bring you that information, but we dive deeply into the material, we bring subject matter experts in, and we give you an opinion that is factual and usually 99.99 out of 100 times absolutely correct and true. We may be mistaken here and there on some incidental issue occasionally, but mark my words, we know what we're doing, and the people we bring on know what we're doing. So this should not be considered, where do I find the hour? This should be like you eat food 3 times a day. This is food for your head, food for your soul, food for your heart. You come here and you go, I gotta consume that hour. And look, we make it a little entertaining also, so that you have a little bit of a smile on your heart, your soul.
Yes, we enjoy the edutainment here.
Absolutely. Now, we do get some folks that complain about our silliness and our characters and all of that. And we tell them to go where the sun don't shine. Is that what we tell them? No, we're very nice to them, but we say, look, we may not be for everybody, because we can't do this thing seriously 24 hours a day, 375 days a year. I just added 10 days to the year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, it's okay.
We do enough
all right.
work.
What do you think of Joseph, man?
He's the
Joseph's
man.
A 21-year-old.
I'll tell you what, the guy, outside of him standing up like a true American patriot, so he'll be viewed as Islamophobic, I could see that guy being the chief of police in some town in Texas in 20 years. Seriously.
Yep, absolutely. He I had read about him recently. He decided to, he was entertaining the military and National Guard, Marines, and then he said he wants to go, and it looks like he wants to go to the sheriff's department, which is really a great place to, particularly in Texas, the sheriff in Texas, the Texas Rangers, but the sheriff has a lot of control, county sheriffs in the state of Texas. So we wish him the best. God bless Joseph Offit and all the work he's doing. Really an inspiration. On this Monday, we have several items for you. We have analyzed what's taking place over the weekend. We're looking at what's going to be occurring in the next week or two. The following week, a week from today, starting on the 22nd of June, we will have a special week, Iran. We're going to focus in on Iran all week because a week after we start next Monday, on the 30th, Tuesday the 30th of June, the final decisions, the final agreement to the negotiations between the P5+1, the 6 countries, and Iran will be written in stone, and this will be a document that guides your life, the Israelis' life, everybody else's life. The United States Congress will have 30 days to weigh in on it, and we're going to run up to that decision on the 30th by starting on the 22nd, and each day bring you significant information on the negotiations, why we think at this point, unless something dramatic happens, they will bring about a completely destabilized nuclear, I got to talk about the word Western.
Western or Western?
Yeah, I know. Nuclear, Middle East, absolutely destabilized, and will increase the chances of nuclear war. Yeah. I say the word Western.
Why?
Western. It's the West, Western.
What?
But it's
Spell
Western.
the word. Spell
New
it.
Jersey, Western. Come on.
No, I've never. You are the only person on earth I've ever heard pronounce it that way.
Western.
Western. There you go. T-E-R-N,
Robarts.
not T-R-E-N.
Robarts.
T-E-R-N. Turn.
We say things differently in New Jersey. Yeah, I went to a bunch of schools, but you never get the Nork out of you. You never get. I got people writing in going, it's not Western, it's Western.
No, Western.
Western.
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah,
Western. I like
Isn't
it
that
Western.
crazy?
He's from the West. He's the Western. In any event, you want to go out east and you want to see trouble brewing in about 10 days. I bought it. We'll have it. I'll read it. We'll explain it. And all of you on the left are going to be going, yay, yay, yay. But our Jewish friends on the left are going to be going, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And it's a new book written by not a hard right-wing Israeli, by Michael Oren. Michael Oren is a center-left guy. He's not even there he is right there. He was the ambassador from Israel to the United States for 3 or 4 years, 9 to 13, I think it was, 4 years. He was the one at UC Irvine when the Irvine 11 got up and started screaming and yelling and shouting him down and disrupting his event, and they eventually were tried in school for disrupting a speaker and actually got punishments, and we're kind of ambivalent on that.
In fact, one of the leaders of the Irvine 11 is also a key member of the USCMO.
Yep, the organization, that's the new political party for this coalition of Muslim groups that
Muslim Brotherhood groups.
Muslim Brotherhood groups that we went up on the 13th and 14th of April to meet at the United States Capitol.
Boy, was that fun.
What was his name? I forget his name. The one of the Irvine 11.
Oh, God.
We're a little ambivalent on that because we're big free speech advocates, and we kind of even on the campus, which is the epitome of free speech, but we do recognize that when the administration has a school and you sign documents to attend that school, as I did with schools I've gone to, you have to abide by their laws. And you have to suppress your First Amendment rights sometimes in light of the school's rules. And they tried to fight them, and the school prevailed. And they had various levels of punishment. Now, that's within the context of a presentation. But there are free speech zones on campuses. We've been on many of them. And there, basically anything goes, and that's the way it should be. Let the bad guys talk, let the good guys talk. The best antidote for bad speech, hate speech, is good speech, free speech. So let the marketplace of ideas prevail. But you're going to see in a moment when we get to the issue of postmodernism how that's more and more difficult for people like us, modern people like us. But back to Michael Oren for a moment. He wrote a book entitled Ally, A-L-L-Y, and it's an inside look of his 4 years, an inside account of Obama's Israel ire, I-R-E. That's the comment on that headline right there. And essentially what Michael Oren says, and some reviewers have already looked at it, he lays out not a death blows by President Obama. President Obama is too slick to deliver a death blow to an enemy. And folks, Netanyahu is an ideological enemy of President Obama. The sooner you understand that, the better you'll understand the incoherent, chaotic activity of the United States in the Middle East when we avoid lining up with our closest Western partner and we line up with jihadi groups all over the place. A lot of this is due to President Obama's hatred. I'll go so far as to say it's not even disagreement, it's hatred for Netanyahu. And Michael Oren spills the beans. But what he does is he shows that Obama's methodology, there's the book right there, My Journey Across the American-Israeli Divide. And you can't get a better author because he's not a hard-right Likud person. In fact, he's in the Knesset now in a center-left party. But he was the United States ambassador. And what he lays out is a methodology of death by 1,000 pinpricks. Not even 1,000 cuts that you hear all the time. You hear this 1,000 cuts, death of 1,000 cuts, a bigger blade. This is a death of 1,000 pinpricks. And President Obama's methodology to create problems with ideological enemies is to isolate and to do Saul Alinsky's identify, freeze them, isolate them, delegitimize them with all these little pinpricks. And some of them are disagreements with the Green Line issues, disagreements with settlements, holding back, playing games, holding back resupply of Iron Dome equipment. All of this.
How about calling for
nonsense.
An undivided Palestinian state back in 2009? For there to be an undivided Palestinian state means necessarily there would be a divided Israeli state, because to connect the Gaza Strip with the so-called West Bank, Judea, Samaria, means that you would have to bisect Israel, and Israel would no longer be a contiguous country. So either this guy has no idea what a map looks like, or he is outright for the destruction of Israel. Period. End of story.
Simply stated or viewed as you're watching on WSBR radio. Try doing that in your car. Come to theunitedwest.org. As you're watching here, this represents the Gaza Strip, this little thing over here, 3 miles by 21 miles from the central part of Israel down 23 miles. And this is the West Bank. It's not exactly what it looks like. But the point that Damon is making right now is everybody says, how are you going to have two states, Israel and Palestine, when you got 3 pieces of land? So the talk is some sort of bridge or some sort of road, that goes between these two that's under control. But a contiguous, undivided Palestine, they got to get some more property in here, trade-offs for other areas. You want to keep Ariel up here? You want to keep Ariel? Fine. You got to give up part of Jerusalem over here. That's what Obama was saying. And this is insane. And in 2009, we still were in the middle of all these Middle Eastern wars that are going on. But look today at 2015, 6 years later. Can you imagine if President Obama got his way with Netanyahu and with Israel and moved Israel into these unworkable, unmanageable, and illogic relationship with the Palestinians and with the Syrians and with the Lebanese, when all of this stuff is blowing
No,
up.
let's also take into account that the leadership of the Gaza Strip and the leadership of the West Bank are killing each other as we speak and hate each other.
Hate each other.
Couldn't agree to what sandwich to split for lunch. They'd probably chop each other's hands off before they could agree on a sandwich to share.
Now, what we're
that's
doing,
that's who Israel needs to make peace with.
Now, what we're doing today, folks, on Monday, the 15th, day after Flag Day, we're laying out for you, as we will the rest of this week. Tomorrow, we got a great show. We have John Stemberger, who did a presentation recently. We weren't able to get our cameras there, but we did find the video of his presentation. It's about a 35-minute presentation. He goes through every single one of the Republican candidates and lists the pros and cons. It's one of the most succinct, comprehensive overview, very objective, of the various Republican candidates. And we're going to show you that tomorrow. We're also going to show you Bill Clinton, where Clinton says, look, there's no dummies. There's no dummies in the group of Republicans. We Democrats have our hands full. We're going to show you that tomorrow. On Wednesday, we have a direct report from Israel with folks on the ground. You'll hear from Jerusalem Jane. We're going to try to get Gano, if we can tie him down. Gozi, if he's back in town. He's been on vacation. He said, if Campbell can go on vacation, so can I. He went on vacation. And we're going to find our friend, the Druze lady.
Yes.
We're going to try to bring her in.
I was looking through some Israel pictures with Ronnie Wexler over the weekend, came across some good ones of her brother.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we'll make that connection. We may or may not. We'll talk to her first, but I think we can. So Wednesday, we got a great day for you on Wednesday. Thursday, we have Don Brown back with Billy Vaughn. Don Brown and Billy Vaughn are going to be back. The following Thursday, Michael Strange's dad, Charlie Strange, Extortion 17. Hey, folks, we're getting into this very, very deeply. We're getting contacted by many interesting people out there that are saying, we can't believe this stuff. We want to be involved in it. So this Thursday, Billy Vaughn, Don Brown's excellent book. And then Friday, Jumpin' Juma, Freaky Friday, we're going to focus in on the immigration problem in the United States of America.
It is not a problem, Tom.
It's not a problem. We got
It is
Ann
the
Coulter.
Hydra. It is our method of taking over your miserable house.
We have Ann Coulter on, she's going to be commenting. She'll be on video commenting on her view. 10-year moratorium, no immigration, good or bad. Let everybody stay where they are for 10 years. I vote for that.
Can we
right now.
deport people in that 10 years?
We better be able to. And Ann Cochran, we have a video that's gone super viral. And then we have Ari Horowitz, friend of ours, who went to Somalia and interviewed some Somalis.
No, he didn't, Tom.
What are you talking about?
It only looked like Somalia and sounded like Somalia. He actually went to Minneapolis.
That was Minneapolis?
Yeah, that was Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Minnesota?
Yep.
You got to be kidding.
I kid you not.
We got Ari Horowitz in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Friday.
Little
Looks like
Somalia.
Looks like Somalia to me.
Little
Sounds like
Mogadishu.
Somalia.
Sounds
when they
like
say
Somalia.
We love Somalia more than we love Minneapolis. What does that
So
mean?
why are we taking in these people if they love their culture so much? Why don't we help them out and let them reintegrate into their own culture instead of bringing their crappy third world culture here to America and diluting ours? Folks,
you may be like us. You may be watching or listening at 49 minutes after the hour on WSBR radio. 740 out of Boca Raton. You may be watching on Tea Party Community. Maybe some of this is on Breitbart. Some of it's somewhere. You may be like us. You may be cursed with a brain that has to see consistency, coherence, and logic to propositions, to statements. That when a question is raised and the answer is very simple, like, is this lady black or white? And she's white. And you now say, well, but if you think you're black and you believe you're black, then maybe you really are black.
That's the Bruce Jenner.
No,
that's like
that's
the Bruce
Obama.
Jenner. If you think you're a woman, you're a woman.
That's
When you're
Obama.
cursed with logical minds like us, that dog don't hunt. Everything goes, all the bells and whistles go off, and we go, how could this be? Well, my salary, close your eyes, there's my salary. I'll add Damon and Mark's salary to it. Close your eyes. There you go.
There they are.
Abe Foxman's salary is $750,000 a year. Abe Foxman, the head of ADL. What is it? Anti-Defamation League, right?
Right.
He's out there trying to save the world from defamation. You know, whether it's on Jewish people or Muslim people or whatever. Who knows what their organizations stand? They hate us. They've said in their writings they hate us. But he makes where am I?
Well, hold on, I'll get you back.
Wherever you want to be, man.
Wherever you
Point
want to
to
be.
something.
We'll go to camera one here. There you go, camera
All
one.
right. He makes 750 large a year. And he just came out today and said, listen to this. Now, understand the context. We're saying that we have incoherence there's Abe Foxman on our screen. We have an incoherent national security policy worldwide, certainly in the Middle East. We have hatred in this administration toward President Obama, who has alienated the Israelis from this administration. But we have the leftist Jews in this country who worship Obama, sadly, in some sort of existential crisis. But they're starting to see that Obama is not a friend of Israel. Now we got the biggest spokesman for the leftist Jews, Abe Foxman, now saying this. Listen to what he said today. Abe Foxman, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, criticized Israel last week for taking the support of the American Jewish community, how many of whom voted for President Obama? What percentage? 80%, 78%. We have some noise going on in the background. We have a little melodic. We're building out our studios here, our massive studios. But Abe Foxman criticized the nation of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, for taking the American Jewish community, who 78% of whom voted for Obama, taking them for granted and failing to offer a creative approach to peace in the Middle East. Somebody want to tell me what's wrong with that whole concept, that whole statement?
Yeah, the entire thing, something is wrong with.
Here's
First
the
of all,
curse-
this guy's salary is ridiculous. Second of all, the guy is more concerned with not appearing to making sure that anything that would be considered Islamophobic, that the parties responsible for the critiquing of the doctrines of Islam is viewed as a hate group. This guy might as well work for the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Exactly.
Essentially. This guy is an absolute floozy of the left, cares nothing for Israel, and hardly cares about the American Jew.
Now, here's the wonder of all of this. He doesn't care about the American Jew. He doesn't even care about Israel from everything we've seen. He cares about his salary, and he cares about the stature he has, and he cares about the power he wields. His argument right now is the Netanyahu government, not just the government, all of Israel, because as you have seen in Protective Edge, last year, war right at this time, as you have seen even post the election, where Netanyahu was looking like he was going to lose to Herzog. He winds up winning fairly big, but has to have a unity government. They're coming together on national security. Abe Foxman is seeing a unified Israel, and Israel's being more intransient against Islamic Jihad because they're
The
surrounded.
nerve of them.
And he's critiquing them for saying, you're intransients with the Palestinians who are slicing each other's throats. And by the way, the Islamic State now is basically helping run Hamas in Gaza.
They're fighting Hamas in Gaza, actually.
They're going to take over Hamas in Gaza.
Yes.
There's a battle going on there. They're trying to negotiate, and most likely they will reach some sort of agreement, because both of them are more inclined to kill Jews than even Fatah is.
Not that they're against it.
Not that they're against it, so you see some interesting dynamics. But Abe Foxman is going, you're going to lose all the Jews here in the left because you don't have a creative peace process. What do you have to do before you can see there will be no peace? There can be no peace, at least in our lifetime.
I tell you what.
Say this, say, okay, we're going to have a moratorium on peace, and we're going to have security for the next 25 years. That's all. We're going to let people want to be animals. We'll cage them in for 25 years. When you stop being animals, we'll let you out of the cage. That's the way life is. Sorry. Why can't they do that? What?
Substitute the word Hamas and put in there Hitler.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's the point. This is what Abe Foxman is trying to do. He's trying to have a peace process with Hitler or Toja or whoever you want. Or let's go Stalin, okay, or whoever you want to throw in there, because it's the same type of mentality. It really is.
And follow that through, because Abe Foxman doesn't wield the power he used to, because his bloc, the leftist Jewish community, that's getting diluted. Many of the Jews on the left on social issues who are Zionists, who are hanging with Obama because they love his social programs.
He's the greatest friend of
And-
the Jews.
yes, and he's a nice black man.
He's practically a Jew himself.
He's a clean black man. He's articulate. You know, the
Joe
Joe Biden analysis of President Obama.
He speak good.
They're hanging with him, but they're starting to see this guy's bad for, not just for Israel, clearly bad for Israel. He's bad now for the United States, and his policies are clearly failing. And he's now sending more and more troops back into Iraq when he said, oh, we'll never go back there because we won that war. What war is this? A new war now that's breaking out?
Yeah, one that he created by a lack of status of forces agreement.
And Foxman,
Technically, it is a new war.
Foxman is losing his panache. He's losing his gravitas. He doesn't have a unified coalition of leftist Jews to stand behind him, and he can't make a phone call to the White House anymore without very significant, wealthy Jewish people saying, you're not speaking for me. You are not, don't ever use my name again in a conversation with President Obama. So that's what Foxman's upset about. Now, what do? Zionists who are supporting Israel and the Netanyahu government, what do we do to further win the leftist Jews in America? Anybody have any idea?
Just keep spewing the truth.
That's it. Tell the truth, show them what's going on, expose the weaknesses of President Obama, as we see, and hope he doesn't destroy the world before he gets out of office.
Maybe the world, and particularly these leftist American Jews that are still with the Foxmans, need to look at a map. Look at a map of the Middle East, and the next time that someone wants to tell you that Israel is the bully of the region, look at the map. Do a population count of all the Jews in Israel versus all the Muslims that are its immediate neighbors. Look, here's the one good thing. Here's something that Obama did not foresee with his ridiculous directionless policies over the last 6 years. Last week, you had a high-ranking Saudi Arabian official and a high-ranking Israeli official shaking hands in public. And the reason behind that is Obama's dysfunctional policies with Iran.
And we'll be spelling that out in great detail. But right now, as we come to the close of this show, I want to read the second part of the proclamation by President Woodrow Wilson, May 30th,
Could you pick someone else better than Woodrow Wilson, please? Jeez, oh man.
What?
Pick someone else better than Woodrow Wilson.
Well, the proclamation was good. I therefore suggest, WW says, and request that throughout this great nation, and if possible in every community, the 14th day of June be observed as Flag Day. And I hope everybody had your flags up yesterday, and keep them up every day. And special patriotic exercises, at which means shall be taken to give significant expression to our thoughtful love of America. Boy, do we need that. Our comprehension of the great mission of liberty and justice to which we have devoted ourselves as a people. Our pride in the history and the enthusiasm for the political program of our nation. Boy, do we need that. Our determination to make it greater and purer with each generation, and our resolution to demonstrate to all the world its vital union in sentiment and purpose, accepting only those as true compatriots who feel as we do the compulsion of the supreme allegiance. Let us on that day, June 14th, rededicate ourselves to the nation, one and inseparable, from which every thought that is not worthy of our fathers' first vows in independence and liberty and right shall be excluded, and in which we shall stand with united hearts for an America which no man can corrupt, no influence draw away from its ideals, no force divide against itself. a nation singly distinguished among the nations of mankind for its clear individual conception alike of its duties, its privileges, its obligations, and its rights in witness on this 30th day, May 1916. See you tomorrow, folks.